Let's talk about Substack. I've been on Substack for a month now, and I want to talk to you about what is exactly Substack, because I didn't know what it was either, and what are the vibes in Substack. Like, what are the vibes of the people, the users of Substack? So first, I discovered Substack because back when TikTok was getting banned.
Oh, look at that, it says TikTok.
Back in January, remember, like, everybody was losing their mind. Everybody was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? Where are we going? What is going to be the TikTok alternative? This and that. Everybody was losing their mind.
I don't know how many hours we have left together or whether or not this app is even going to go dark tonight at midnight, but in case it does, I don't want the last video that I post to be screaming and yelling at the camera during some rant or following some audio trend. So I just wanted to set my phone down and talk to you guys for a couple of minutes if this is the last video that I post.
Please, one more! One more!
TikTok. 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 TikTok, okay.
I made this TikTok.
I'm not gonna go to Facebook. I'm not going to Twitter. Yes, it's Twitter. It's not called X. Stop calling it X. Elon X is never gonna happen. I'm not going to Instagram. So what are we gonna do?
And it got a little bit of traction. Like, it got like 400,000 views, and like people were commenting and suggesting me where to go after the TikTok ban, because low-key I was losing my mind, because I love TikTok and I love the TikTok algorithm. Okay, so obviously the top one recommendation that people were saying was retinol.
I just have one thing to say to the American government that thinks that China is stealing my data. 管我屁事. That simply means I don't give a shit.
Everybody was saying like, oh my god, retinol is like the Chinese version of TikTok. Like, you should go to retinol. Retinol is very similar to TikTok. The algorithm is similar. It's funny. The Chinese people love us.
Shut the main door.
This and that.
Bitch, I'm from Memphis. What you know about me, Big G?
And I saw a lot of people on TikTok talking about how good retinol was, but for some reason I was like, no, I just don't want to make an account, because I was still in the delusion that TikTok was not getting banned. The second suggestion that people were saying on my comments on that TikTok was Blue Sky. Everybody was saying like, oh, this is just like Twitter. It was created by the person that created Twitter or something like that. And I was like, okay, fine. But low-key, like, I don't like Twitter that much, because people lose their mind on Twitter, like, you know. And I was like, okay, I don't necessarily think that I want a Twitter Blue Sky account. So I was like, no. And then the other alternative that people were suggesting and the people were saying was Substack. And I was like, okay, what is Substack? And based on what I seen on TikTok, a lot of people were saying like, oh, it's just for you to write this and that. And it was giving very much Tumblr vibes. But still, I couldn't find a TikTok of somebody explaining what the f was Substack. Like, nobody said exactly what it was, okay? And then, you know how the TikTok algorithm works, like it reads your mind. This TikTok popped up on my For You page from the CEO of Substack.
Before TikTok gets banned, you need to make a Substack. We have streaming, video, group chats, writing, and more.
For some reason that worked on me. I don't know why. I was like, okay, if the CEO is here telling me to do an account, I will do it. Boom. So I made the account. Let me tell you something. It's just so confusing when you first log in into Substack, because I was like, okay, what is going on? I do not get it. You don't necessarily catch the vibes immediately. And also, like, the web page, the way that it's said, is not necessarily very easy to navigate in. Okay, so let me walk you through what I have learned on Substack and what is Substack. So when you log into your Substack, you have your home page, right? Think of your home page like your Twitter page, okay? Because Substack is this. Substack is a combination of Twitter, Tumblr, and a little bit of Patreon, because you can put a paywall on some of your stuff, okay? So this is the Twitter page. When you're on your home page, this is the Twitter page. You will see tweets, or here they call them notes, from different people. Here, what it says dashboard, think of this like your analytics page, okay? And here is where you can post posts, okay? So notes and posts are not the same thing, because notes are tweets, like short tweets that you're tweeting. Those are the notes. But posts are like articles that you can write. If you want to write a 12-page essay about lamps and electricity, you can do that on your posts. Like, you can create an article, okay? And then the other thing that you can do here is, like, let's say that I want to create a cooking page. Like, besides my Sherry Onyx page, I want to create a cooking page called cooking with Sherry or whatever. You can create that secondary page, which is like a Substack. That's the name. You create a second Substack. You will see it here on your dashboard. Here, what I created is something called Flower of the Week. I've been creating this flower journal since 2016 or something. Like, I've been taking pictures of flowers and gathering information of different flowers that I find here and there, and that's what I'm interested in writing about. Like, I have my Sherry Onyx Substack, and then I have that newsletter or Substack called Flower of the Week, where I talk about flowers. They're connected, but they're apart. Okay, so that's a little bit confusing. Okay, I know. The only way for you to understand Substack is to get into it. Like, log in, make an account, and start trying, because it's just, for me, I don't know, it was like a little bit confusing. I wasn't getting it. I'm gonna say this, I feel like the algorithm in Substack is not great. I feel like it doesn't necessarily connect you with people that are looking for the same thing that you're looking for on the first try. It's very hard to find your niche. At the same time, I like that because, yes, it is a social media and it's public, but it's hard to find. So whatever it is that you post on your Substack, it feels very much like you're talking to the wall. It feels very much like a drop in the ocean. It feels very much like, yes, I'm talking whatever it is that I want to say, like I'm saying whatever it is that I want to say, but nobody is actually listening to me. And there is something so poetic about that, and I feel like that's the appeal to Substack. You post your notes, you say this and that, but nobody is reading you. Nobody is reading you, girl. I feel like I treat it like a diary. Even though in the back of my mind I know that anybody can find that page and read it, I treat it like a diary. It's public, but it feels private. So now let's talk about the vibes of the people on Substack. Girl, the people on Substack, they are having a battle for who's the most intellectual. There's three things about the people on Substack. They're better than everybody else.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop.
Whenever they post something, it's letting you know that they're better than you. That's the vibes of the people on Substack. They hate TikTok. And they think that they are the final bosses of the intellectualism.
I have the mind of a master. They
are smarter than everybody. Like, they read 500 books per year. Nobody is at their level when it comes to intellectualism. Like, that's how they act. A phenomenon that I've seen about Substack users is that they say that they don't care about the subscriber count. Like, right now, girl, I have 10 subscribers, and I believe that they're all bots. And I'm fine with it, because this is my diary. I'm fine with it. But what I've seen of people on Substack is that they're always talking about, like, oh, I don't care about subscriber count, this and that, but that's all they talk about. The other thing is that their hate for TikTok, I feel like it's so uncalled for, and let me tell you why. Okay, boom. People on Substack think that TikTok is just brain rot and silly dances, and they're correct. But that's not all that there is. There's a lot more to TikTok. You know those people that never had a TikTok account and they feel like they're above anybody else? Like, oh yeah, like I don't use TikTok. Yeah, bitch, but you're on Instagram Reels, which is worse. The TikTok ban was happening, these people were so happy. They were like, oh my god, yes, I'm so happy that these TikTok creators are going to lose their job and they're going to have to go back to the work field. Like, girl, you are a hater. You are a hater just because you don't have a big following on TikTok and you're not making money on TikTok. Just because you're not profiting off TikTok, you're hating on those people that are actually making something from TikTok.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
They were having a competition with TikTok about which app is better, and let me say this, I've been on both apps. Obviously I've been more on TikTok because obviously, like, I've been on Substack only for a month, but I've been on both apps. I don't understand why people on Substack are having this weird competition with TikTok, because the vibes of the two apps are not the same. TikTok is short form video content, very quick and very up to date. Substack, it's reading very slow pace, and sometimes I've been reading like notes or posts from October 2024. You get me? Like, sometimes the things that I'm seeing on my feed are from last year, and I'm not complaining about it, that's fine, but I'm just saying that the two apps are just way too different. For the people on Substack be having this weird competition with the people on TikTok, like, babe, why are you fighting with the people on TikTok? That's another thing. People on Substack, when the ban was happening, they were talking so much about TikTok, and I got news for you, girl. Nobody on TikTok was talking about Substack. Like I said at the beginning of this video, video, when I was trying to find information about Substack, I couldn't find anything on TikTok because people don't talk about Substack on TikTok. But people on Substacks, they seem to talk about TikTok all the time. Like, they want to talk about TikTok and hate on TikTok so bad. And like, I got news for you, girl. Nobody on TikTok is talking about you. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. And don't get me wrong, like, I like Substack. Like I said, it's just that it's a different vibe from TikTok. So what I don't like about Substack is that they keep trying to compete with TikTok, and like, girl, you can't compete. Y'all are not the same. The vibes are not the same. It's not the same algorithm. It's not the same content. I don't consume the same content that I consume on TikTok on Substack. Like, it's just not the same. So here and there I see a person talking about how, like, oh my god, like, I deleted my TikTok account and now I feel like I did a detox on my brain. Like, now I feel like such an intellectual. Like, now I feel like I upgraded. Like, I get where they're coming from. Like, don't get me wrong, I get where they're coming from, because I understand that TikTok can be very doom scrolling type B. I get it, but you need to understand that Substack, whether you like it or not, it's a social media as well. Stop it! The other thing that I have found about people on Substack, which I think is linked to TikTok, is that they hate videos.
Fuck off.
They don't want to see no videos on Substack, and I get it. Like, this one I get, because again, like I was saying, like, the vibes on Substack are different from TikTok and this and that, and I get it, but they seem to really hate videos. I don't hate videos. Like, I love videos. I love watching videos here, watching videos there. Like, I don't have a problem with videos, but people on Substack, they don't want to see videos. They only want to see words, okay? Because they read. In case they haven't mentioned it to you, they read. They are readers. They are intellectuals. So if they see anything else other than words, they lose their mind. But that being said, I really enjoy Substack. So if you have like something that you want to write about, or if you're interested in reading, like, I don't know, cool things, I have read some stuff on Substack that I have really enjoyed. But if you really don't like reading, then Substack is not for you. If you're interested in something like that, like an app that is like very low-key, niche, mysterious, like she's not like other girls, then Substack is for you. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Substack. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you, okay? Bye!
Substack is not the new TikTok because 50% of the people in this country can't read.
When you're fucking po, nigga, ain't like you wanna do something.